I'm joined here today for the first time by Juan Archuleta and his glorious beard, set to fight Henry Corrales coming up here real soon at Bellator 238. Thanks so much for joining me, man. How are you?
Good.
For sure, man. It's good to have you on. First things first, though, we just had the holiday season go by. Did you do anything special during, I assume, sort of this time off?
Um, I'm always in the gym training, so just got to hang out with the family. I actually went out to New York and watched one of my good friends, Lance Palmer, fight and for the PFL and win his $1 million prize, and it was good to see.
Yeah, I assume when you have friends that are starting to win $1 million, you got to start getting closer to them, right? They start getting that money.
Yeah, no, we've been friends for a long time, so through thick and thin.
For sure. Now, we mentioned your glorious beard off the top. We did notice it's gotten longer since the last time we saw you in the cage. Is this something that you chose to do? Like, are you working on this? What's going on here?
It's just it grows. All my brothers have beards, so our facial hair grows pretty fast. So it's just something I've just kept and haven't shaved yet.
So is this something, did you buy a special comb for it? Or are we talking beard oils and creams, or is it all natural?
All natural. I don't really put too much oil. I mean, I comb it. You have to, otherwise it gets all knotted up. But now, yeah, I don't have any product that I use specifically for it.
All right, and let's talk about this fight with Henry Corrales a little bit. We feel like it got announced, and then it's like all happening in the same month. I assume there was a bunch of stuff happening behind the scenes, like this has been in the works for a while, or is this kind of like a short notice?
No, I got I think approached by both of us at the same time, like the day before it got announced. So it was something that the promotion just put together, I guess, at the end and wanted to fill in for the spot. I was originally trying to fight in Japan on the Risen cards, but obviously money and travel and I don't know what the negotiation between promoters fell through, so I wasn't able to get all that. So I just stayed training, and then they said, "Hey, you want to fight Henry Corrales in LA?" And I said, "Yeah." Next day they announced it.
So is there any doubt when they come to you so short notice like this? I mean, just within the month, or is it just, I'm just trying to get back out there?
Well, I want to fight. I told them I wanted to fight as much as possible. The only thing holding me back from fighting more is the promotion. And so, if it was up to me, I'd fight 5-6 times a year. Right now, it's been the slowest 2 years I've ever had in my MMA career, only fighting 3 times a year. So it's kind of frustrating, but at the same time, there's a business that they're running, and I don't think they do as many shows as other promotions. So they got to pick and choose who they have to put on at certain times.
And so what did you think when they offered up Henry Corrales? I mean, I assume this was someone you're familiar with. I mean, what did you sort of think of that fight?
Yeah, I mean he's the best out there right now at the 45 division that's not tied up, and so I think both of us we just want to keep fighting top contenders so that when this tournament's over, or if they need someone to fill in, if someone gets hurt or injured or not make weight, we could be that get put in on that open slot. Both of us are game opponents. He's beaten every one of my teammates that he's fought, and so looking to go out there and avenge some losses that he's beaten 5 of my teammates, and so it's something he definitely has his number on against us. But I feel like with my style, it collides a little bit with his, and I'll be able to put on a good performance and entertain the crowd, both of us.
And so with him fighting so many of your teammates, is it fair to say it's someone you're familiar with? I assume you're in the training camp, you're helping guys prepare for him. I mean, is this someone that you're really familiar with?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him fight back in his King of the Cage days, and he was a stud then too, just knocking people out and putting people away. And he's a banger. He's an athlete, and he's a fighter, and he's a game fighter, and so am I. So that's what makes this exciting for the fans.
And it seems, you speak of the fans, it seems like the fans really found out about Henry after he fought Aaron Pico. Of course, he had fought a lot of really good guys before then. Were you kind of surprised that that's when people started paying attention, or do you think that's just kind of normal in the fight game?
Yeah, it's normal for the fight game, and it's like me, people didn't really start taking note of me until I knocked out Dudu Dantes, and so we got put in the same situation, coming out of King of the Cage, and so it is what it is. It's part of the fight game. So you get the highest highs and lowest lows, and when you're on that ride, you gotta take full advantage of it.
And so I do want to talk about your last fight a little bit. Obviously, you're up against Patricio Pitbull, and it was, your first loss in a very long time. If you just look at the record, you have to start scrolling to see the last time you lost. What was it like going out there and sort of experiencing something that was a little bit different? I mean, you have a guy with so much experience and he going the distance and everything. I mean, what do you kind of take away from that fight?
Well, what I take away from the fight is honestly the stuff that happened behind the scenes, which was very something that I shouldn't have had gone through with them making adjustments in my corner, the commission at the last second. I felt it was very unprofessional on all parts, even mine. We should have had it cleared up weeks before the fight, and next time I know, that's what I've taken away from this fight. I made sure this time that people are going to be cleared to be in my corner, that are in my corner, and that way there's no surprises when I mean, there's still you never know, but everything I can take control of, there's going to be no surprises going into this fight an hour before my fight.
For sure. And does that change coming off a loss? Does that change your mentality going into the next fight? Because you feel like you maybe have more to prove and stuff like that, or does it just feel like, you know what, it's one experience, let's move to the side and on to the next?
I'm a very experienced fighter. I mean, I fight every day with the best fighters out there in the world that are number one contenders. So my experience is there, but just things happening that you can't control. Are experiences that you can't be ready for, and so now I'm ready for it. But going into this fight, I have the game plan that I'm gonna dictate out there should have been the game plan that I should have dictated against Patricio. So I'm excited for this fight. It's gonna be good redemption for one, and it's gonna be good to show people that this is the game plan that I had going in fighting Patricio, and this is how the outcome should have came out from for that fight.
And there is someone I wanted to talk to you about a little bit. I mean, there was a picture that came out of, it looks like Rampage Jackson was out there training with you guys. Is it accurate to say you guys have been training with him?
Yeah, I've been training with Rampage for a while now, since I signed with Tiki Gosen. Yeah, I mean, he started training with the training lab. He was having some issues with his weight and things. And with the 12 weeks that we did was a lot better than when he first started. So it's gonna take some time to get him back into good shape and get him back in good form where he's firing off and entertaining the crowd again. But he put in the work. He did what he needed to do to be able just to go out there and fight. But I was proud of him that he came out and did what he did as far as his training. Still has to make some sacrifices, like all of us, and he'll be back ready for his next fight.
And after the fight, it seems like the fans, the media, everybody kind of really went hard at Rampage. Do you think that was fair? Do you think there's a lot of things people didn't realize maybe behind the scenes?
Yeah, I mean, it's part of social media nowadays, right? Everyone could be tough behind a keyboard and behind their screen, right? Everyone has something to say, even after my fights, or you gotta take the good with the good and the bad with the bad. There's people will praise you 1 minute, and then your next fight they'll shit all over you. So it's just part of the sport and part of being on that high platform. And people always have an opinion, and they'll give their opinion, and it's not wrong, and it's not necessarily right either. But it's just people's opinion, and as long as you have your own opinion and keep moving forward and you're positive about it, your mentality, you have to have a strong mentality and a strong mental warfare against the Twitter and the social media stuff in order to be an athlete nowadays.
And one thing I wanted to get your thoughts on, it seems like a lot of people were kind of, for a long time with Bellator, considering you a prospect. But, I mean, when we look at your record, I think you're almost at 30 fights. I mean, you've been a contender for a while. Does it get annoying when you kind of get lumped into that prospect category when at this point you really are a contender and at the top of the divisions?
No, I don't. It don't bug me. I'm not in it to try to be the number one ranked guy at all. I'm out there trying to be the best MMA fighter that I could possibly be for my career. And the titles will come along with it. To me, I'm out there ready to fight whoever they put in front of me the best. I'm willing to fight for titles. I'm willing to jump up to 155, 145, 135, to really take the best fights possible. And I don't think the Bellator has realized that yet. And but after my last fight, got some recognition for going the distance. But my goal wasn't to go the distance with Patricio, is to beat him. But these next couple fights are going to show that. And these next couple fights are going to prove that I am a great fighter, and I am going to go out there and fight the best that there is available.
And so getting back to your fight with Henry, I mean, what kind of fight are you expecting out there? You've been getting all these highlight reels these past couple fights. I mean, we know Henry's got that sneaky power. What kind of fight are you expecting?
Oh yeah, brawl. He's a gangster, man. This guy comes forward. He's able to take a shot to give 3 shots, or take a shot to give his best shot, and so it's going to be a brawl. He's game. He's a game opponent. I'm a game opponent. We love to entertain the crowd. We love to throw and swing for the fences. So we're expecting a barn burner, both of us. I could guarantee it.
All right, and that leads me to my last and final question. How do you see yourself getting your hand raised in this fight?
With someone like Henry, I hope it's a long, hard fought fight, 15 minutes going in there, and one of us getting a good decision. I hope we both get to go out there and put on performances and lay it all on the line, and be a back and forth fight and entertain the crowd. So I don't mind going to a decision with Henry, because he's a great fighter, and I'm able to go take it all out there and put it all on the line with him, and I'm sure he feels the same. And if the finish comes, it's going to come. But a guy like Henry, it's a guy that you want to go out there for 15 minutes and spend the whole war out there, the whole camp that you got ready for, to experience that war and that mentality of basically blow for blow, and see who edges who out.
All right, well, thanks so much for the time, man. I really appreciate it. It's going to be a great fight. We're really looking forward to it.
Right on. Thanks, Lucas. I appreciate it.